Good afternoon, trust you're all well, keeping safe. One of the real beauties of where I don't live in one place, I move around quite a lot, but one of the beauties with the UK is if you've got to avoid a killer virus, and you've also got to avoid hired assassins, or people who've set you up to be hunted and put a price on your head, and it's just sport for them. The highways, like it says in the Matrix, the highways are suicide. You can soon get boxed in, disappear in the back of a van, or even on a bike. You could just be a big hit and run again, or just disappeared. But the real beauty with the UK is there are footpaths everywhere. You can get all around the country. You can just disappear like a needle in a haystack, just travel light, travel at night if you need to, and there are just these beautiful views, and you can just disappear into the countryside, through the woods, the cliffs, the coast, where, and you can just make your way from A to B, just keeping your head down, keeping yourself out of harm's way. So that is the real benefit and beauty of being where I am, and just how I can manoeuvre, unless you can get put into a permanent lockdown in a black box fix. So that is just one of the real beauties of the UK. And like as I mentioned, just come up very big just lately about freedom of speech being shut down. Everybody has the right for freedom of speech, unless you're stirring up violence or hate crime or whatever, but people have got a right to express their opinion, or freedom of speech, or to put their point of view out there for other people's consideration, to make their own deliberation or arrive at their own conclusion is what being presented. And when you've got these big social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, taking down people's accounts, taking down, especially with something that's real evidence that people and the public have a right to see, with so many cover-ups going on all the way up to the hierarchy and so forth, and secret agendas in play and so forth. So when people expose that, it's no bad thing that should be put out there in the public domain for people to see, people to view. And when you've got platforms that when you've got all the evidence there for everyone to see, and the research and things that people have messaged you and been kind enough to put you in the picture, and suddenly you just go to your Facebook account and it's been disabled, And when you're up against, the hierarchy in Norfolk, this council, Norfolk police, they've got all their spies and cronies, informers, all pushing their big agenda. They're pushing their big agenda, putting the word out. They've got all the latest communications, and you might only have a platform like Facebook to defend yourself, to turn around the big monster frame. And when that is also taken away, then even the little bit that you've got left to make a stand and fight and take on their big frame is taken away from you. So it's a completely unlevel playing field, and obviously they don't like when in a David and Goliath situation where he comes along. I mean, the beauty with King David, he picked up 5 stones, not one, when he went to fight Goliath. God had already trained him, with the bear and the lion before he took on Goliath, and he picks up 5 stones because Goliath's got 4 brothers. And when you find yourself in a 4 or 5 way fight, churches in this, your community, some family, fake friends, your hierarchy council, your Freemason fraternal, this health centre, so you're up against all the Goliaths, and you can just make one stand, with your 5 pebbles, and you can floor them, but they don't like it. So the one platform that you have, obviously, whether they put pressure on Facebook to remove your account, or whether it's just Facebook being Facebook, or Facebook 66 AI, but anybody often who's got a real message or something, their videos get hardly any views, or their posts no one really sees them, and So as far as being an open and free democratic society and people really having the freedom to speak and that can be put out there, I mean, even with what's coming here now, you know, I wrote about it, I posted about it, you know, some time ago. Even at Christmas time, I had 23 approved ads on Facebook. You know, in February I wrote the book, you know, Killer Virus, Spirit on the Loose, a story they don't want you to know. Again, not about money, people have read it for free, but to put the story out there, because Facebook had closed down my account. But when I opened other Facebook accounts, you know, I could have boosted those posts to thousands of people, just with a press of a button. You know, those posts, I had 23 approved ads, not seen by one person. And when you're kind of up against, and also sharing in some of the dis groups too, like they've got one rant and chat disc group. Well, I only put one post in there and I was removed from the group. So much for a place where you can have free expression. Again, Dis Unleashed, another group. Put a couple of posts in there, they're removed. It's not Dis Unleashed at all, it's Dis on one person's leash. If they don't like what you've got to say, I mean, there's a big group in Norwich, 44,000 people. There was something that happened in Norwich really relevant to my story, so I used it to make a big point that would speak to a lot of people in Norwich. The post is removed. So one person can stop. I'm not saying 44,000 people would have seen it, but you know, people would have seen it, maybe shared it on. But one person who's an admin who don't like what you've got to say or lacks insight or understanding or revelation removes your post, and you live in this closed down, locked down society, not just in a time of virus, people just trying to lock you down, or even in my case trying to lock you up, make you disappear to the Bacon SS pork farm, Dr. Death's black pig pen, or a permanent black box fix. You just take a big hit and you disappear. And they're the ones who've got something to hide. It's not me. My hand has always been on the table for the world to see, for everyone to see. I put it all there. And the big thing too with it's like when I came out of Africa, and my reason for going to Africa was a genuine reason. Jaffa and his gang threatening to burn my mother alive. 17 nuns hacked to death in a children's home not that far from my mother's children's home by 50 youths with machetes. Genocide on the horizon. Now God confirmed I was to go, and to go urgently. But according to DC Free, this Christian community church, the Roy Lincoln lawyer, Mr. Newbury, the congregation, my going was a hoax and I was a fake, and accusing me of money. Well, how much is your mother's life worth? How much is someone you love or a loved one life's worth? It's never been about money. And it's like also when I came back from there, a while in Kisumu, they had a really, just to give you an example, again where you don't get a say, is you know, there was severe famine in Kisumu, which was the stronghold of Ford Kenya, who were in opposition to the Kenyan government, and the government were only putting food and aid distribution into where they held sway, so they were letting Kisumu starve. And when people begin to starve, they get pretty wild. So Kisumu was cutting up really rough. And there was also, which is no small amount of MPs, 46 opposition MPs were arrested for inciting crowds to riot against the Kenyan government. And I visited some of the churches that DC Free, this Christian Community Church, were affiliated with in Kisumu, which is Hope Church now, and the people in there had nothing. You know, they were in a real desperate plight, and the elders and the leaders said, Johnny, when you go back, you know, will you share our plight, you know, with this Christian Community Church, which is a very affluent church, a lot of very well-off people, you know, because they said, we've got nothing. The food prices have gone up. We can't even afford the oil now to cook the food in that we can't even afford to buy. You know, we are in dire need here. So if you can share our plight with DC3, which on my return I did before I was banned from the church and all their monster black lies. But they told the congregation, I only passed the message on like I said I would, but they told the congregation that I came back from Africa and demanded that they send money, which was not the case. I just passed the message on. So you can be completely misrepresented, and at DC3 no freedom of speech at all. They didn't let me get up in the pulpit and put my side across as to the genuine reason I'd gone into Kenya, and I certainly didn't go there on a Fred West Sutcliffe luxury holiday, staying in a nice hotel, having sex with black hookers, grooming young girls, abusing children. That's the big monster lies that were going around this, delivered by Royal Mail postie assassins. So I had no say in at all. The decision, you know, to ban me from this Christian community church, for also defying the elders and going, because they told me I was not to go. It's a bit like the guy on the aircraft carrier who just lost his job, the captain who flagged up the coronavirus, and you know, their situation could, you know, really get catastrophic if they didn't get immediate assistance, and then, you know, he was sacked because he flagged up the situation he was in. And now, according to the elders, if I went to Kenya, they'd put 2 girls in their Tessa carriage and another girl in there, that their parents would hear that I'd gone, and that would cause them undue concern and distress. Well, Tessa, I saw Tessa and the girl when I was in Kisumu. I saw them and they were really glad to see me, and that was coming up very rough in Kisumu. And I said to them, you know, if things do go off in here, don't go back to your apartment or don't go and get your things. Keep a bag with you, go straight to the embassy, consulate, straight to the airport, do not go back. So you go back, you're going to get trapped in here, and if all hell breaks loose in here, you're going to be very vulnerable, you know. So, but the reason, the real threat was from Jaffa and his Yardie gang in their late 20s, who said they would burn my mother alive the next time they saw her in a car. So a real evil saw trap that was in play. And when evil is on the move, as it was on the horizon too, with complete genocide. But and I say I've covered this before, but what I'm saying is I had no say whatsoever, no freedom of speech. I could not put my side across to the congregation. I was just totally misrepresented, and then the monster lies, you know. So that was the starting place. That was what started the chain reaction. That was the big black cornerstone that came out of Africa. And again, that was my Christian calling, you know, in front of a full church. A guest speaker was there, asked me to stand up, and he said, the Lord is calling you, asking you to run a hostel for homeless young men, and he will release £26,000 for you to start this ministry. And this came to pass, and I did take in 3 lads who were homeless. So 55 Victoria Road was never 25 Cromwell Street. All the stories of sex with young girls and underage pregnancies and murders and burials. And I'd got an underage girl pregnant, and some said rape, and some said I'd disappeared her into Dismere, which is a lake in the middle of Dis, which is a bit like a bottomless pit. And the black lies were just crawling out of the bottomless pit and being delivered again by the post office and your milkman and so forth. So I lost my job, you know, on Simon's Coaches through the monster black lies. I had no say in that. The phone stopped ringing for work. Also at Kingfisher's Dairy, but I did have a say there. I took Graham Kingfisher to an industrial tribunal at Bury St Edmunds, where he had nothing to say about me and underage pregnancies and burying somebody underground works at Halston or patios or disappearing someone into the mere. And your chairman was really good at the tribunal. You know, Graham Kingfisher couldn't get out of there quick enough with his solicitor with his tail between his legs. But he did let the big black cat out of the bag. You know, he did say, oh, the police said he should be locked up. Well, I'd committed no crime. I was running a hostel for homeless young men, my Christian calling, and I'd been to Africa to see him on a genuine emergency, life or death situation, not one penny from anybody, because a yardie gang was threatening to burn my mother alive with genocide on that. So I hadn't committed any crime, so I didn't need to be, you know, but this police were really, you know, pushing this agenda too. But at the tribunal, I had my chance to state my case, so fair dues. And then when the death threats continued, and the police were in the centre of all this too, I went to Rowland's solicitors, and he said, Johnny, Mr. Rowlands, who later became a judge, very good, you know, character of judge, your judgment of character. He said, Johnny, you've got a very good case of character assassination. And again, it wasn't about money or suing anybody. You know, he said, but you can't get legal aid, and just to clear your name, that is going to cost you, you're looking at £21,000. So again, you don't get your say. So we did mark up the people in this who were behind the hate campaign and the death threats, cutting brake pipes, loosening wheel nuts, which I was arrested for, a bit of graffiti, criminal damage. So, but not one person who we'd marked up, who were painting me very black, serial killer, rapist, paedophile black, none of them would press charges because they didn't want to face me in a court with the press there, where I would have freedom of speech. I could present my case, and then the whole world could see this big hate campaign going on in this. But at this police station, no freedom of speech. I'm under arrest, denied a phone call, denied a solicitor of my choice, Simon Nichols Belmore Solicitors in Norwich, told no duty solicitor is available. So they broke every Home Office guideline to spring their saw trap. No interview took place. I had the folder with me that Rowland's solicitor had seen with all the death threats in, full of serial killer, paedophile, rapist, lies and so forth, and all the phone logs from all the phone boxes in this day and night. So they didn't want that. They didn't want an interview, so they didn't want to record the evidence that I was telling the truth. Because according to the police, no one was framing me, no one was phoning me, no one was setting me up, no one was loosening my wheel nuts, they were just loosening themselves. You know, I just lost the wheel, nearly put me in the path of a lorry, they just 5 wheel nuts just loosened themselves. No one cut my brake pipes, you know, the brake pipe just cut itself, you know. And this was the official line that I had to take, and I said, no, I'm not taking that line. You know, I had Inspector Bunton roaring at me how they would fix me, and I was dealing with the wrong people, i.e. the MP, MEP, OBE, the mayor, the council. You know, these were the wrong people, and they would fix me, and that's exactly what they done. They did fix me, but not in a nice way. They could have said frame me, because that's exactly what they done. And then I was disappeared. I had no say, no freedom of speech, no interview, nothing was logged, no paper trail. I was disappeared to maximum security, and the folder with all the evidence was also disappeared. So again, no freedom of speech, no truth can be heard, only their agenda can, you know, be the only agenda in play is their agenda to frame you, to fix you, to set you up and make you disappear. And even when the IPCC took up my case, the Independent Police Complaints Commission, I mean, Mandy Liddon was backing me all the way. She said, yeah, we'll blow this police cover up out of the water, Johnny. And I mean, you got breaking every Home Office guideline, you got completely perverting the course of justice, fabricating evidence, making evidence disappear, false imprisonment, physical assault, the police inspector, Inspector Bunton, 2 blatant lies, far bigger than Plebgate, but all in the line of duty, all covered up. And Stuart Craig, again, not about money, just rattling their big serial killer cage at Norfolk Police Headquarters. he wouldn't even register the complaint. Yeah, the police could do all of that, and that was all in the line of duty. Well, how can that be? You know, when people are above the law, or they can disregard the law when it suits themselves and break every law in the book to set you up. And this is meant to be the people who are implementing law and order. And it's like where I was framed and detained. I mean, as I mentioned in my other stories, they completely overdone the drugs. I thought they were trying to overdose me, so that I would, my heart would stop. So I had to stop, and then I escaped on a double-decker bus. And again, no double-decker bus stop. Serial killer here. But I went back again. I had freedom of speech. I had a tribunal, so I did go back for the tribunal. And because I was free of the forced drugs that I was taking, because there's no way I could represent myself full of their latest, you know, SS zombie drugs. You just couldn't. So being free of the drugs, you know, I was able to represent myself, and that was even stated, you know, in the tribunal, that I was nothing like this police had made me out to be. Such was their frame and such was their aim. They wanted me locked up indefinitely, yeah. It's making me out to be the mad psycho of this, and I was marked these people up and I was going to hurt people and so forth. No, we're just, you know, it's not what I'm about. You know, I was made a stand for the truth against monster black lies. And the chairman, you know, fortunately God put his man in the right place at the right time. The chairman, the woman on his left, were both Christians, and they could see through, you know, what I've spoke a little bit with you about. You know, I was able to elaborate with them a bit more, and they officially released me. And the chairman even said, Johnny, I'm going to give you a letter. Make sure that this police put this on this report, because in this letter, I don't know if I ever made it to the file, because I handed it to Inspector Bunton in full uniform, who went as red as a traffic light outside this police station, because I was the last person in the world he thought he was going to see. And in this letter I categorically stated that I was no threat to myself and no threat to any other person, which was totally contrary to what Norfolk police, you know, were setting me up to do. So, free speech, yeah, definitely a biggie for everybody. You let free speech be closed down, and also, you know, the truth being shut down, and when the truth is also, and free speech is also being shut down by the people who are executing and setting you up to be assassinated with all their monster black lies, that's not a fair and just society where the people setting you up can have their say. And the same with on Facebook, all the Facebook accounts with monster black lies and death threats and so forth, you know, posted on Facebook or received through Facebook messages, their accounts all remained intact. It was just only my Facebook account that was disabled. So I'm not saying, you know, you're going to get a fair deal in this world, because obviously you're not. But there's no crime for a man to stand up for himself and to say, no, I'm not accepting this, I'm not putting up with this, and I don't care. I'll speak my truth. You might want to say I'm crazy, you might want to say whatever you want to say, that doesn't bother me. I'm going to stick to what I know and what is, you know, strong in my heart, and I'm going to let the world see it for what it is. Anyhow, God bless, keep safe everybody. And like I say, this is the real beauty of the UK, is that you can just vanish down some of the most beautiful places, disappear like a needle in a haystack, and rather than being put into a black box, you know, one way or another, you know, you can just be out here under God's creation, out in the lovely fresh air. I say, if you're homeless, this is your home, under the blue sky, under the stars, in the woods, across the fields, the rivers. That's your home. Right, you should be in lockdown. I say, well, this is it. Well, like I say, they wouldn't see me because I just through the paths, travel at night, whatever. But anyhow, God bless, look after yourself, and we'll speak again soon. Bye.